Welcome back. This God My Ministries. This your man Tim. Happy New Year's. Today we doing part 2 of Let There Be Light with the subtitles of Your Doctrine versus the Word. Let it be confirmed by 2 or 3. Somebody gonna look at this and say he's teaching a false doctrine. A false doctrine would be something that's contrary to the Word and or a misinterpretation or a false teaching of the Word. Correct? See, I don't believe in interpreting the Word. I believe the Word interprets itself. Jesus said, let it be confirmed by 2 or 3. So if it's confirmed 2 or 3 times or more in the Word, then that's a confirmation, not my interpretation, right? Last week we discussed in Genesis 1:1, when the heavens and the earth were created, they were created perfect. But yet in verse 2, we see this dark, chaotic wasteland. When I look at Isaiah 45:18, it says when God established the world, he ain't created empty, but he created it, or he prepared it to be inhabited. This the word. So that means there's a gap in between Genesis 1:1 and 1:2. Because we just read, when God created the world, he created it full and to be inhabited. But when we look at verse 2, it's this dark, chaotic wasteland. So what happened? Last week we discussed how God's perfect creation became imperfect, including Lucifer. It's because of the perversity of your traffic, meaning that Lucifer understood trade. He understood the buying and the selling of goods. He understood commerce, meaning he was a hustler. He was a businessman. But he became deceitful and violent in the pursuit of that bag. Hence the original sin. Hence the love of money is the root of all evil. Okay, Lucifer was a merchant. Got that. And we see the original sin. Got that. But as a merchant, who was he trading with? And what was the results and or effects of this original sin?
When sin is full grown, it gives birth to death.
Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28, we see Lucifer say, I will lift my throne above the stars of God and above the high clouds. So above the clouds says that he was below the clouds on earth. And his throne says that he was a king of something, but what was he king of? In both Ezekiel and Isaiah, it states that people witnessed his fall. It also states that you have made the world a wilderness. Sounds like Genesis 1:2, huh? Now some people will say that they're talking about later on. But it also says that you have polluted your sanctuaries. Now we know sanctuaries speak of priesthood and a holy place. And we know nothing was holy about Lucifer after the fall. So your Sunday school doctrine doesn't hold up. Let's dig more. In Genesis 1:2, we see a world that's destroyed. Science also agrees that there was an ancient mass extinction event. Earth also has a layer of ice which proves that there was an ice age. Yet strangely enough, I don't see that in Genesis 1. Doctrine says that the world dates back to Adam, or a little bit before Adam, 6,000 to 7,000 years. But the fossils of the earth and the layers of the earth prove that it dates back hundreds of millions of years, if not billions. See, science doesn't disprove the Bible, but science proves the Bible, because the Bible said it first. So let's see what the word says.
So we see the destruction that results after Lucifer's fall in both Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28. It says, the nations you've destroyed your cities. You've polluted your sanctuaries. You've destroyed your people. So mass extinction, confirmed, at least 2 times. But I know y'all don't believe the word. Y'all believe y'all rationalization over the word. So let's keep confirming. So in Job 9 and in Job 38, we see this destruction again. He said, I shook the earth out of its place. He said, I shook the wicked out of the earth. He said, I removed the mountains. He said, I told the sun not to rise, and I told the stars not to give their light. We see that the oceans were frozen, all because of God's anger. So what we're saying is God's judgment and the results of sin.
And if that's not enough, let's confirm it again. In Jeremiah 4:23-28, he said, I looked to the land, and lo, waste and void, and unto the heavens, and their light is not. I looked to the mountains, and lo, they are trembling, and all the hills move themselves lightly. I have looked, and lo, man is not, and all the fowls of the heaven have fled. I have looked, and lo, the fruitful place is a wilderness, and all its cities have been broken down because of Jehovah, because of his fierceness of his anger. For thus saith Jehovah, all the land is a desolation, but a completion I make not. For this doeth the land mourn, and the black have been the heavens above, because I have spoken it, I have purposed, and I have not repented, nor do I turn back from it.
Let's confirm it one more time just for good measure. Isaiah 24:1. It says, God emptied the earth, he made it waste, he turned it on its face, he scattered the inhabitants. So again, we see the earth that we see in Genesis 1:2 was not created that way, but it became that way because of God's judgment, and this was a result of sin. So let it be confirmed by 2 or 3 or 6 or 7 in this case. Understanding mankind cannot be tempted above that which it desires, and if this wrongful desire conceives, meaning becomes the intent or objective of your heart, it births sin. And when this sin is full grown, it becomes death. And we'll create a doctrine to justify this death in an attempt to satisfy our sinful agenda. Because the devil cometh only to kill, steal, and destroy. So we'll cause destruction in someone's life and falsely call it God. But if the context of your rationalization is truly the word, then let it be confirmed by 2 or 3. This God My Ministries, this your man Tim. Comment, like, subscribe, share, let me know what y'all think. And we'll be back next week with part 3 of Let There Be Light. I love y'all.
God My Ministries, my God, my ministries, ministry, divinity of the Trinity, this energy, the friends of me, wondering what get into me.